Hi guys, happy Wednesday, happy live. I apologize, I haven't done one of these in more than a month. It's been crazy busy, and one week I was away in Bermuda, so I missed that week, and then the rest has just been crazy with everybody wanting to list, etc. So I'm sorry, I'm here, and I'm going to be fast too, just because there's lots going on. I have to rush back out, but thank you guys for popping in. I'm going to do my usual, so I'm going to do your guys' questions, some of them that have come in throughout the weeks, as well as happy news, as well as real estate updates. So I hope you guys are all well. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat and I will answer them. Otherwise, you can ask me in private and I'm happy to get those to you, those answers. Kristin at crippshomes.com or 705-726-7000. Again, 705-726-7000, or feel free to write them in the chat. Okay? All right. Okay, first question comes from Carlos, and Carlos is in Bradford. Carlos says, I've been seeing a lot of sold signs around me lately. I refinanced last year though, so I'm afraid, what if it's worth less than how much I refinanced it for? How would I find that out? Thank you, Carlos, for asking. So of course you could get a local realtor. We'd be happy to help you, but you're welcome to have somebody maybe you've used in the past or trusted or whatever. We have no issues against using anybody else, or if you'd like to use our services, you can. It's there's no obligation or anything like that. So just to find out, so for example, if you finance your house up to, let's just say $1 million for easy numbers sake, it depends if they had you put 5%, like they kept 5% in it, or 10 or 15 or 20 or 25, etc., depending on it. So that really depends on it. And then is your home now worth 800, 850, or is it worth 950? And again, depending what you put into it. So a realtor can tell you all of that and send you all of the recently solds around you. So feel free to reach out and I can give that to you. Obviously, I need your address and some information about your home, but otherwise, any realtor can do that for you. And again, it just depends how much you put down on it and when you refinance. If you refinance in April versus October, for example, would be a different story, or even April versus August was a different story. So thank you for asking, and yeah, we can help you if you need. Hi Jesse, hi Mark, thank you guys for popping in. I'm just going to do a couple of happy news and questions first, and then I'm going to do the real estate updates, okay? So this is like, what are the chances, basically. There was a person and she was homeless for more than 6 years, and she got her life together. She rented a place, she got her university degree, and one day after an oil change, she bought a lottery ticket and she won $5 million, which is crazy. Again, it's just a random happy story. Obviously, we know where we can get not happy stories from. We can turn on any news channel, etc. So I just like happy stories. So just throw them in there and mix in between your guys' questions and real estate news, okay? So next, or real estate updates. Next question's from Megan, and Megan lives in Barrie. Megan said, I have 2 adult boys living at home and really want them to buy, but it just seems impossible. How will they ever get into the market? Any diamonds in the rough that they could buy? Thank you, Megan, for asking. So obviously, depending on your boys. So for example, the bank is going to want to see the past 3 years. So if, for example, they were in school the last 2.5 years and now they have a great job, but they've only had it for half a year, they probably don't have a notice of assessment or any taxes done with that, because they are going to look at 3 years. So that's something. Also, they're going to look at their credit score. So if, for example, maybe they missed some payments, or they've always had their Visa max, etc. So banks don't like when you're over 75%. So even if your credit card is $1,000, if it's $750 that you have on it that you owe or more, they don't like it, and that'll take knocks down on your credit score. So they like people to be below 75% of whatever their limit is, regardless of what the limit is. And then also, they don't like if they jump around jobs a lot. So let's just say they're young and you're like, hey, try out different jobs. If you don't like it, try out another one. The banks, unfortunately, don't like that. They do like people that are staying at the same job. So if they could stay at the same job, would be better, or at least in the same profession, like not, oh, I'm a teacher, oh, I'm a this, I'm a that, like completely changing. At least if they can stay in the same profession, if they want to change jobs, that will help for that. Of course, staying at home for a while, as long as they can, and hopefully saving money is great. And then even looking further north. So we've had a lot of people moving north. So for example, they're going up to Sudbury or whatever. Obviously, the average price point is different there. So if they're like, hey, I work downtown Toronto, I have to be down there. Obviously, they can't be north, but if they could commute a bit, that would help with their pricing. And also maybe your boys could buy together or something. They could buy something, let's just say with 2 kitchens, and then usually 2 kitchens, it's like 2 bedrooms, right? So they could stay in a 2-bedroom, plus they could rent out the upstairs. So they're splitting the cost, plus somebody's helping pay the mortgage. So that's another way as well. And then of course, like not having a fancy car and high payments and so forth. and just paying everything on time. So hopefully that helps. I know that's a lot of me talking fast and so forth, but feel free to reach out if you need more information, because we do have more, but I try and keep it short little segments here. Again, I'm just going to do a couple of happy news before I get to the real estate updates. Okay, so I'm just checking who's on. Okay, so obviously I'm sitting next to my dog, and lots of people have found things help with having dogs, whether it's mental health or depression, etc. And there was a lady in California. She was coming up to her 101st birthday, and her Chihuahua died. And her kids are like, you can't get another dog because of her age and so forth. And she was just really depressed, etc. And there was somebody at her nursing home, and they, I guess, were telling their daughter. And the daughter found out about this thing in California called Seniors for Seniors. And so they basically pair up senior dogs and cats with senior people. So it was super cute. So the lady, by the time she turned actually 101, a couple months later, she had a Chihuahua named Gucci that they had, she kind of adopted. And then basically that Seniors for Seniors takes them back if the people pass before the dog passes. But I just thought it was cute that she got a dog before her birthday like she wanted. Next question is from Graham. Graham's in Aurelia. Graham said, I don't understand how the market was so dead and quiet, and now everything seems to be flying off the shelf. How is that possible? I would agree with you, Graham. It was quite quiet and quite like, oh, what's happening? And obviously everything was down from last year, etc. And then basically, so February 25th was the last time that the Bank of Canada upped their interest rates, right? So then the next time the Bank of Canada did their announcement and they didn't up their interest rates, suddenly it started to get busy. And then the next time they went and also didn't up their interest rate, then it just skyrocketed. So it's just been crazy busy. Hence, I haven't done a live in like 5 weeks. Haven't slept much in 5 weeks either. It's been just crazy busy because everybody basically got a bit of a fire under their butt and they're like, okay, the interest rates aren't going up anymore. We're good. Let's get back in the market. A lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines and waiting, and now they're back into the market. Bank of Canada has said, not officially, they won't say in writing, but most likely they're going to keep it at the 4.5 for the rest of 2023, and then it might come down. Again, they haven't set it in stone and said like dotted every single I and T and stamped it, sealed it, whatever. It's not going up, but that's what they said, that it's going to stay the same most likely for the rest of 2023. So again, everybody's super excited to get back into the market. So that is probably why you're noticing that. And then also warmer weather. Obviously, I feel like people come out of hibernation, etc. And a lot of people like to have their closing dates, basically when school ends. So the end of June, beginning of July. So obviously to line that up, they're not going to list in January 5th, for example, to line up a July 5th closing. It's too far off. So that's why it's been really busy as well. So yeah, it's been lots going on. And I think I have one more happy thing before. I can't see who that bubble is, but I don't know. Maybe it's Adria. Hi, Adria popped by my place unexpectedly and so nicely a couple minutes ago. So one more thing before I do real estate updates. So there was a woman in Minnesota, and she was sad because she's a single mom, and she has a son with Down syndrome. I lied. Down syndrome. He's 24, and he doesn't really have a lot of friends. And she's a nurse, and she got off work one day, and she just wrote like, hey, if anybody will come play video games with my son 2 hours a week, I'll give you $80. And when she woke up after going to bed, she had over 5,000 comments, and all these people, majority of them, saying, you don't need to pay me, I'll come hang out with them, and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, now he has multiple people a week that come to see him. She doesn't pay them. They actually said, hey, I just want to do it. And they love their time, and she's really happy that he goes to bed with a smile now on his face. So I just again, happy news. Okay, so real estate updates. I apologize again, I'm talking so fast, but I do have to get back on the road, so sorry. Okay, so what is obviously happening in real estate? So I will cover a bunch of things. I'm going to do local first, okay? So locally, Barrie in April actually had more homes that sold in 2023 than 2022. However, it was only 3 houses more, but still we'll take it. So there was 204 that sold in 2023 and 201 that sold in 2022. But again, we'll take it. So in 2022, the average price in Barrie was $891,000 and change. I don't like the change part. And in 2023, it was $755,000. So obviously that part's not good. It's down 15.3%. However, any other of these lives that I've spoken of, as long as the people didn't buy it last year, they're fine. Everybody else has made money because it went up such a crazy amount. You know, houses, some months it was 37%, some months it was 66%, some months it was 71%. It was just insanity over the year before. So obviously we couldn't keep that up. So yes, it has come down a bit, but still, as long as you didn't buy in the beginning of 2022, and I apologize for those people that did, then you're fine. And to be honest, even if you bought in 2022, let's just say March, etc., you most likely sold as well. So then you sold way too high, not way but you got way more money than you should have basically, and you bought, so it leveled out. The only people that are in a bad position is if they were first time buyers and they bought February, March, April, May, etc., 2022. They are in a bit of trouble. However, they could just stay there and not sell, and eventually they'll come back. So last year in Barrie, the average home sold for 106.2% of asking price. So obviously over asking price. You heard of all the bidding wars, etc. This year they're averaging 99.4%. Mr. Charles behind me. They're averaging 99.4%, so obviously not selling over asking anymore. And last year the average days on market was 9, and this year the average days on market in April was 21. So obviously it's taking a bit longer, but things are still selling. So in Simcoe County, what I just told you was just Barrie, but in Simcoe County, there were less homes that sold in 2023 in April than there was of 2022. So in 2022, 677 homes sold in Simcoe County, and 2023, 641. So not tons less, but last year, obviously the price was higher. So it was 906 and change that the average home was selling for, and now it's 792 and change. So that is down 12.6%. What else? Last year, homes were selling for 105% of asking, and this year they are selling for 98.6. I lied. 105 last year, 98.6 this year. And last year was taking 12 days on average to sell a home, and this year it's taking 30 days on average to sell a home. And again, this is in Simcoe County as a whole, so counting every single sub area and district. So if we break it down into actual sales of homes, so whether it's a detached, a semi-detached, a condo, a townhome, etc. So I'm going to do that, okay? So in Barrie, for detached, the average home sold in April of 2023 for $849,000. Again, I'm not going to do the change part. That was down 14.9%. Semi-detached average $655,000, which was also down 21.4%. Towns are averaging $668,000 change, which is down 9.5%. And condos averaged $550,000, which are down 11%. And I know I'm saying like down, 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 but honestly, April and May has been so busy and it's been crazy, and it's been crazy. It's just, yes, down from last year, but crazy busy. We're back to bidding wars and so forth. When I was in Bermuda, so we were in Bermuda for a week, and I had 7 firm sold and 4 conditional. It's just that busy. The one day I was literally just sitting on my laptop with my cell phone, and the one got 15 offers, one got 13 offers, one got 6 offers, one got 4, and I think the other one only had 1. It was a higher price one. But anyways, it was crazy busy. So yes, it's busy time. So in ESSA, the average detached home in April cost $851,000. That was down 9.4%. And then in ESSA as well, a semi averaged $686,000, which was down just over 10.6%. Townhomes in ESSA Township are averaging $634,000, and they're down 15.5% over April of last year. In Innisfil, detached homes are now averaging $916,000, which is down 10.6% of last year. In April, townhomes are down 11.7%, and they are averaging $665,000 in Innisfil. Wasaga Beach, I'm not going to go through everyone. This will be the last one I'll do for this. Wasaga Beach for a detached home is averaging $822,000, so they didn't go down as much. They're down 5.4%. And in a semi-detached for Wasaga Beach is averaging $602,000 in April of 2023, which was down 20.3%. So the detached didn't go down as much as the townhomes, or sorry, as the semis. The townhomes in Wasaga Beach are averaging $609,000, which is 9.7% less, and the condos are averaging $469,000, and they actually went up 2.6%. So that was in Wasaga Beach. I apologize for talking so fast. Just have lots to do. Hope you guys are all well. So I won't go through every single area, but just to give you a bit of an idea of April's price points. So in Adula, Toronto, in April, the average price point was $595,000. In Bradford, it was $1,072,000. In Clearview, it was averaging $849,000 in April. In New Tecumseth, it was averaging $879,000. In Oro, 1.147. In Penetanguishene, $577,000. In Ramera, $1,035,000, which is crazy to me, Ramera. Severn, $741,000. Springwater, $1.14 million. In Tay Township, $660,000 was the average in April, and in Tiny, $928,000. Okay, So each month it has been getting better, because for quite a while it was like down, 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 and now we're going up, 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 up. Not when we compare this like 2023 versus 2022, we're not up, just when we do like February versus January, March versus February, April versus March, etc. That's what I mean, okay? So in Barrie, for example, in March, the average home was 726,000, okay? Now the average home is 755,000, okay? So obviously it's gone up almost 30,000. So that's 4% higher, okay? So again, 726 to 755,000, it's gone up. And before it was taking 24 days on average to sell, now it is taking 21 days on average to sell. And before they were selling for 99.2% of asking, and now they're selling for 99.4% of asking. I know 0.2 doesn't seem like a lot, but every little bit helps when it's going up. So further south, if we're looking into the GTA and not specifically Simcoe County, etc. So in the GTA, homes in April in 2023 averaged 1.25 million and change. We don't need to do the change. Sorry, I said 2023. That was last year, 1.25. Now this year they're averaging 1.15, so obviously 100,000 less. That was down 7.8% again in the GTA. So sales aren't off that much though. So yes, the price point was down 100,000, but the number of homes selling was not. So in GTA, there were 7,940 homes that sold in 2023. So 7,940, just so we remember, and then 7,531 sold this year. So barely any difference. Last year they averaged 14 days on market, and this year they're averaging 24 days on market. So they are taking longer, just like Simcoe County. Charlie is getting situated back there. Condos in the GTA, so their volume has gone down huge. It's actually gone down 42.9%. So 42.9% less condos were sold. Not their average sales price, just the number of condos sold. So there were 7,909 condos that sold in 2023 by this time, and this year there's only been 4,519. So that has gone down. Last year they averaged 790,000 and change. This year they're averaging 700,000 and change. So 90,000 down, so it's about 11.4% down. Again, these are condos in the GTA. I just like to give you guys, sometimes I just do locally, sometimes I do Vancouver, out east, etc. I just like to give you a full picture all the time. So rents are actually up crazy huge. So the average rent in Toronto has gone up just about $400. So last year a one bedroom was averaging $2,149. So let's just say $2,150 to be exact. And now it's just shy of $2,475. So $2,150 to $2,475. But obviously sellers, so let's just say the tenant moves out or what have you, because they have higher interest rates, they have to charge more rent and so forth. So that's why it's expensive. So it's up 15.1% rents, okay? And last year in the GTA, there were over 10,000 apartments that rented, 10,124 to be exact by this time. And this year there's been more, 10,525. So even though the prices are up 15.1% to rent in Toronto and the GTA, there have been 4% more people that have actually been renting, because not everybody can afford their home, etc. So they need to rent. So that is that. Across Canada, home prices have increased 1.4% from April compared to March. Okay, so the last few months before March and April were kind of slow and not much was going on, and then April, May have been crazy. Okay, and that's across the board. So far in Simcoe County this year, the average sales price has been $852,000 and change. And if we look at just April by itself, it's $847,000 change, okay? There was a recent survey done by Money Sense and Zillow, and they analyzed basically the best places to live, not just based off of the average sales price, but how much the average income is there, how much the crime, etc. So Barrie did not make the top 5, or Simcoe County, but we made number 13, which is not too bad. The number 1 place that they said was Sault Ste. Marie, but the average sales price is less than $300,000, so I'm sure that affects it. The second place they said was North Bay, where the average sales price is $413,000, and then they said Bancroft, they averaged $506, and then they said Tillsonburg, which was $627, and then Sudbury rounded it out with $437. So obviously it's less to live in Sudbury than Tillsonburg, but maybe there was more crime, or I don't really know how that worked. But yeah, Barrie was number 13, lucky 13. So the main problem now, even though everything's got crazy busy, is still affordability. Affordability, if I could speak properly. Affordability is still the main problem. So all of the bidding wars that I have been mentioning have all been in lower prices. They're not like, hey, it's 1.5 and it's a bidding war, right? However, there was one the other day that was 1.4 and sold 1.55, but that's pretty rare. It's more like, hey, this is $5.99, this is $6.99, etc. Those are the ones that are getting the bidding wars. So people, first-time buyers, still can't afford to get into the market, which is obviously a big problem. So not only locally, but cottage country has also heated up a lot in the last 2 months. And the main people that are buying them, they're one, buying them as a second home, not as their only home. And two, they're Gen X. So they are basically 43 to 58. And the reason they think that is because of the baby boomers that have done well in the past. And a lot of them are giving money to their kids and so forth. So they're expecting that $1 trillion are going to be given in the next 2 decades to their kids. And so obviously the kids already have homes, etc. So they're buying second homes up in Muskoka, etc. So in Muskoka, Haliburton, and they said French River and Manitoulin Island, 91.3% of people that bought cottages in 2023 already, they were in the Gen X generation, which is crazy. And 42% of people that own cottages in those areas say that they are going to leave it for their child. They're not going to sell it, etc. And 56% said they already have them down as their beneficiary name. Okay, so next question. Well, and I was going to say next question, but also we do 1% listing commission. So if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to call our office, 705-726-7000. Again, 705-726-7000. Obviously, with people, some people buying last year and things have, going down, obviously 5% is a huge amount to pay. So if you have any questions about that, let us know. Also, we have won the top one number choice. That doesn't even make sense. Number one top choice award the past 4 years in a row. So I can sell homes, even though I can't speak tonight, but I definitely can sell homes. We've won, again, the number one top choice the past 4 years in a row. So feel free to reach out to us at the office at 705-726-7000. So the next question comes from Claire and Greg, and they are in Newmarket. Claire and Greg said, we back onto a ravine and are empty nesters. I want a pool and my hubby wants a cottage. What would you do? We can't do both. Ooh. Thank you, Claire and Greg. Sounds like it's more from Claire, but for asking. To be honest, I would buy a cottage, but that's more my investor mind because I just think you have the cottage. When you're not there, you rent it out. But if, for example, you're not going to rent it out, then obviously you could get the pool. But if you got the cottage, then it's going up in value. Your home's going up in value. Yes, your home is worth more because it has a pool, but not as much as a fully detached other dwelling on a lake, etc. So I would still go for the cottage. So I apologize. I think it was your husband that wanted the cottage. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm siding with your husband. But it's up to you, of course, Claire, in the end. But yeah, I would do the cottage. Thank you for asking, and I hope you're well. Next good news thing, what do we have? So a man was released from jail, and he was in jail for 24 years, and the first thing he wanted to do was get in contact with his pen pal. So he was convicted in, I think it was 94, of murdering his best friend. He said he was at his girlfriend's house, but basically he was brought into a room and, somebody went and pointed, oh, that was him. And so he had always gone to church before he got incarcerated, and so he reached out to a church nearby where the prison was that he was going to, or the jail. I don't know the difference between prison and jail. And started to say, hey, this is my story, blah, blah. And somebody wrote him back. And anyways, for 24 years, they wrote back and forth. And she used to come to his trials and everything. The person, I should say, that actually did the murder ended up confessing years later. So he got to get out. So he went right away to see his pen pal. And I just like that. Obviously, 24 years is not a happy story in jail, but him getting out was a happy story. So I like that. Next question is from Carolyn, and Carolyn is in Barrie. Carolyn said, we really want to redo our kitchen, but we have 4 kids and I fear being kitchenless. Any tips to having it done faster? Thank you for asking, Carolyn. So to be honest, so let's just say it depends where you're getting it from. So if you were getting it from IKEA, whenever I go to IKEA, I say like, what is out of stock? And they'll tell you, don't get 24-inch cupboards, don't do drawers, don't this, don't that, because there's certain things that have been on back order forever. Even if you drive around to, the North York, the Burlington, etc., Etobicoke, IKEA, you're not going to find them. And then there's some that are obviously box ones, so they're already done. So if the box is right there, you can just pick them. And then just counters. So for example, I've done Cambria counters, and they're 6 weeks, but there's other quartz counters that you can get in 2 to 3 weeks. So if you like the styles and they're fairly similar, you might as well go for a 2 to 3 week one instead of, no offense to Cambria, a 6 week one. And of course, obviously, if it's not a quartz or something like that, and it is something like a butcher block or something that IKEA has, or that they sell in stock at Home Depot, if you're just doing like a cheaper laminate, etc., just get one that's in stock. It's easier. And then just be careful with appliances, just because obviously sometimes you say, the last time I did one, it said 3 weeks, and they were about 9.5 months on the one. Obviously that was during COVID, but just maybe see what's in stock first, as opposed to what they can get you in a certain amount of weeks, because I guarantee that won't happen. So hopefully that helps, and thank you for asking. So there was a man in Scotland, and he climbed to the highest mountain in Scotland with a fridge on his back. And yes, I said a fridge. And the reason he did that was basically because he wanted to raise money for mental health, etc. Because he said the fridge represents, a lot of people with mental health carrying that weight and so forth, whether it's they don't think they're good enough, or they have depression or anxiety or what have you. So anyways, I thought that was neat that he got all the way to the top. It took him just shy of 24 hours, 10 minutes shy of 24 hours. It was snowing, it was raining, it was 40 miles per hour winds, etc. So he raised lots of money for a good cause, so that was amazing. Next question comes from Justina, and Justina is in Cumberland Beach. Justina said, I purchased last year in the high of high, but my interest rate is low and I'm locked in for 3 years. This home is too small for me. What does that potentially mean for a move for me? Thank you, Justina, for asking. Good thing. Yeah, you're locked in and not variable for sure. I would find out if your mortgage is portable. So if it's portable, it means you can bring it to a different address. So let's just say you're at 123 Main Street. You can take it to 123 France Street or whatever. But if it's not portable, then they're going to have a penalty. And because they locked you in for 3 years, they're going to be losing a lot of interest that they wanted to make off you. So you're going to have a high payout, I should say, a penalty if that is the case. So hopefully it's portable and you can move it. And hopefully you don't lose too much money, and maybe lose no money, and maybe make some money or break even or something like that, depending obviously where you bought and so forth. So I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully that helps. What is the next thing I have? I think I have one more. I don't know. There was a man, it was his 105th birthday. So the other one was a lady that was 101. This man is 105. He did not have a dog. The other lady had a dog. This man contributes his health to weightlifting. So he was in the Army for, I think it was 24 years. And then he became a rugby player and cricket. And he did, what else did he do? I forget, he did something else. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Oh, here it is. Squash and golf and polo, etc. And anyways, he just says he works out 90 minutes a day and he walks a mile, and he's 105. He quit smoking, which was good. I don't know, he didn't say when he did that, but I just like happy stories. And again, if you guys have any questions about our 1% listing commission, feel free to ask. And thank you guys for voting us the #1 top choice award winner, real estate brokerage in Barrie the past 4 years in a row. And I hope you guys stay well, go after all of your dreams, and have the best evening ever. Take care, and thank you for popping in.